So today you're going to go through a series of sample questions that are similar to what you will expect on the math portion of the SAT. There's going to be 10 questions that you are going to do. So I'm going to go ahead, show the question to you. You're going to answer it on Edpuzzle, so you'll pick which one matches the correct answer. And then I will go through and reveal the answer and explain how to actually solve that problem. Okay? So here is your first question. And I forgot to mention some of these questions will pull from previous math classes that you've taken. So this stuff is not everything you've learned this year. So question number 1 says, what is 10% of 470? Either A, 37, B, 47, C, 423, or D, 460. So go ahead, take a moment and solve this problem. For this problem, 10% you want to go and change to a decimal. So that is, when I change it to a decimal, you move your decimal 2 to the left. So this is going to equal 0.01, and then you multiply it by 410. So 0.01 times 470 is going to give you 47. So the correct answer is B. Now there's a couple ways you can solve this, so if you used a different method, that's totally fine. So now we're going to go ahead and look at number 2. So again, here's our answer. B is correct. 10% of the quantity means 10 over 100 times the quantity. So you could have done a fraction there and multiplied it by 410, or like I did the decimal form. Number 2 says 4x plus 6 equals 18. Which equation has the same solution as the given equation? Either A, 4x equals 180 or 108. B, 4x equals 24, C, 4x equals 12, and D, 4x equals 3. So go ahead, solve this problem. All right, first we need to go and solve the equation, the 4x plus 6. So I'm going to go subtract 6 from both sides to start. So you're going to get 4x equals 12. Then divide both sides by 4, so we get x equals 3. So we have to figure out if A, B, C, or D gives us x equals 3 when we solve. So for A, if I divide both sides by 4, I would get x equals 27. For B, if I divide both sides by 4, I would get x equals 6. For C, if I divide both sides by 4, I would get x equals 3. And then for D, if I divide both sides by 4, I would get x equals 3 over 4. The one that matches our solution to the first equation is x equals 3, so that is C. So again, here you have to solve that first equation and then compare them to A, B, C, or D. Number 3 says the total cost in dollars to rent a surfboard consists of a $25 service fee and a $10 per hour rental fee. A person rents a surfboard for 2 hours and intends to spend a maximum of $75 to rent the surfboard. Which inequality represents the situation? A, 10t is less than or equal to 75. B, 10 plus 25t is less than or equal to 75. C, 25t is less than or equal to 75. Or D, 25 plus 10t is less than or equal to 75. So go ahead, take a moment and solve this problem. So it says we have a $25 service fee and a $10 per hour rental fee. So the $25 is going to be a one-time fee, $10 per hour here, and we're going for t hours. So to find the total, you would do 10 times t and then plus 25 here. And we're spending a maximum of $75. So $25 service fee plus $10 times t hours. That's going to give us how much money we spent to rent. And the maximum we can spend is 75. So what we spend has to be less than, or it could be equal to $75. So that's going to match option D. So D is your correct solution. The cost of the rental fee depends on the number of hours the surfboard is rented. Multiplying T hours by $10 per hour yields a rental fee of $10T. The total cost of the rental consists of the rental fee plus the $25 service fee, which yields a total cost of $25 plus $10T. Since the person intends to spend a maximum of $75 to rent the surfboard, the total cost must be at most $75. Therefore, the inequality 25 plus 10T is less than or equal to 75 represents this situation. Here is question 4. It says the function g is defined by g of x equals x squared plus 9, for which value of x is g of x equal to 25. A4, B5, C9, D13. So go ahead, take a moment and solve this problem. So here we're going to go ahead and substitute in 4, 5, 9, and 13 into our function g of x to see which one simplifies to 25. So if I do g of 4, I'm going to have 4 squared plus 9. 4 squared is 16 plus 9 gives us 25. For 5, I would have g of 5, which would be 5 squared plus 9. 5 squared is 25, and 25 plus 9 gives us 34. For 9, g of 9 would give me 9 squared plus 9. 9 squared is 81. 81 plus 9 gives us 90. And then for the last option, 13, g of 13 would be 13 squared plus 9. 13 squared is 169. And then plus 9 would give us 178. So our solution here that matches 25 is going to be A. So A is our solution. So again, we substituted in those values to get 25, or see which one gives us 25. Number 5, it says each face of a fair 14-sided die is labeled with the number 1 through 14 with a different number appearing on each face. If the die is rolled one time, what is the probability of rolling a 2? A, 1 out of 14, B, 2 out of 14, C, 12 out of 14, D, 13 out of 14. So go ahead and take a moment and answer this. So here we are looking at a 14-sided die. Okay, and it's labeled 1 through 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 are on each side of the die. If the die is rolled only one time, what is the probability of rolling a 2? So with probability, we would have our favorable outcome that we want. So we want to roll a 2. Okay, so rolling a 2. And then this is going to be out of the total outcomes. So how many possible outcomes could we have here? So on our 14-sided die, we have one side that is going to be a 2. And then this is a 14-sided die, so there are 4 different outcomes, numbers 1 through 14. So our probability here is going to be 1 out of 14. So A will be our solution. So now we're going to go ahead and look at 6. It says a printer produces posters at a constant rate of 42 posters per minute. At what rate in posters per hour does the printer produce the posters? So go ahead, take a minute and solve this one. So we're producing at a constant rate of 42 posters per minute, and we want to figure out how many posters per hour. So right now, we know that there are 42 posters for 1 minute, okay? And we want to get this to be out of 60 minutes, because 60 minutes is in an hour, okay? So that would be 1 hour then. So to go from 1 to 60, I need to multiply 1 by 60. So that means I'm going to multiply the top by 60. So 42 by 60 is going to give us 2,520 posters. Now our solution is not this fraction, it's just 2,520. and 20. The number of posters that we actually produced in an hour. Here's number 7. It says the function f is defined by the equation f of x equals 7x plus 2. What is the value of f of x when x equals 4? So go ahead, take a moment and pause the video, or not pause, but go ahead and solve this problem. So our function here is f of x equals 7x plus 2, and x is 4. So we're going to take 4 and substitute it in for x. So I'm going to have 7 times 4 plus 2. 7 times 4 gives us 28, and 28 plus 2 gives us 30. So our solution for this problem is 30. Number 8, a teacher is creating an assignment worth 70 points. The assignment will consist of a question worth 1 point and questions worth 3 points. Which equation represents the situation, where x represents the number of 1-point questions and y represents the number of 3-point questions? A, 4xy equals 70. B, 4 times the quantity x plus y equals 70. C, 3x plus y equals 70. Or D, x plus 3y equals 70. So go ahead, take a moment and answer this question. So we know the assignment is going to be worth 70 points. We have questions that are 1 point and questions that are 3 points. Here, x will represent the 1-point questions, y will represent the 3-point questions. So to write an equation here, our 1-point questions, we're going to have 1 times the number of questions, so 1 times x, plus 3 times the number of 3-point questions. That will give us the total number of points here, which has to equal 70. So 1x you can also just write as x, so x plus 3y equals 70, which means our answer is going to be D. So it says choice D is correct since x represents the number of 1-point questions and y represents the number of 3-point questions. The assignment is worth a total of 1 times x plus 3 times y, or x plus 3y points. Since the assignment is worth 70 points, the equation x plus 3y equals 70 represents the situation. So now we're going to go ahead and look at question 9. It says right triangles LMN and PQR are similar, where L and M represent or correspond to P and Q respectively. Angle M has a measure of 53 degrees. What is the measure of angle Q? Either A, 37 degrees, B, 53 degrees, C, 127 degrees, or D, 143 degrees. So go ahead, take a moment and answer this question. So for this one, since we're talking about triangles, I like to draw them. So we have L, M, N, and then our second triangle is PQR, where L and M correspond to P and Q. So P goes with L, Q goes with M, and R will go with N. Okay, so they're all similar, or they're similar triangles. So, and I know it said right triangles, but you get the idea. They're similar triangles here. So here, angle M has 53 degrees. So this guy here, so that means angle Q is also going to be 53 degrees. So our answer is B, and that's due to corresponding angles in similar triangles. So it says choice B is correct. It's given that the triangle LMN is similar to triangle PQR. Corresponding angles of similar triangles are congruent. Since angle M and Q correspond to each other, they must be congruent. Therefore, if the measure of angle M is 53 degrees, then the measure of angle Q is also 53 degrees. And now we have one more question to do for today. Number 10 says y equals negative 3x. 4x plus y equals 15. The solution to the given system of equations is x comma y. What is the value of x? A, 1, B, 5, C, 15, D, 45. So go ahead, take a moment and solve this one. So here we only need to solve for x. Since one of my equations is Solve for y, I'm going to use substitution. I'm going to take what y equals, substitute it into my second equation. So my second equation is going to become 4x plus negative 3x equals 15. And then here, 4x plus negative 3x is going to give me a positive 1x, and 1x is going to equal 15. And here we don't have to go solve for y. It's only asking for the value of x here, so my solution is going to be C. So make sure you hit submit when you are done with this assignment.